A night in with MauLer and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen dinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop up the cork, have a glass of wine, that's feel safe, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, MauLer and the critical drinker.
Woohoo. Here we are. It's open bar number 96. Welcome, everybody, to whatever passes for entertainment these days. It's not you're all here. MauLer,
crawling toward that 100 was so close. The years are just flashing by my eyes.
And we've totally planned loads of amazing things for Open Bar 100, haven't we?
Yeah,
obviously. We're definitely not going to leave it until the week before and then panic and just get a bunch of strippers in or something.
I've spoken to my scientists. We're going to try and resurrect some famous movie stars. It's going to be fun.
I see that as totally viable. I think we should do it for sure.
Having some ethical issues. Some of the families have been complaining, which I think is silly, but you know.
They always have families, and they always complain about this kind of thing, but
it's not nice. It's like, shut up. Come on.
Yeah, like our entertainment is way more important than your loved one's dignity. So
exactly. Takes so long to get that across, but yeah, you know, it's fine. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. But anyway, well, here we are. It's like the 96th year of Open Bar, and like, would you care for a few little facts about 1996?
I would care for some facts about 1996.
So I came up short slightly on particularly interesting world events, so I had to resort to other things. But in terms of famous people who were born in 1996, Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Florence Pugh were all born in this year. It's kind of weird because they are very much all associated with each other. They're all part of this current generation of actors, and they all happen to be born in the exact same year. So there you go.
Are you suggesting they were grown in a factory ready for stardom?
Now, I can't say that officially, but if you were to ask me if I think that's the case, I would say I don't necessarily object to your proposition.
Curious. Interesting theories.
Yeah, so you can't sue me. So I just put forward an idea, that's all. You guys can make up your own ideas about it. Either way, also, it was the year in which Tomb Raider and Resident Evil both started. You know, they became quite big franchises. I think they did okay.
Who'd win a fight, Lara or Jill Valentine?
Oh, probably Lara, because she's more athletic. Jill would have a hard time hitting her. I mean, you had to press a button to make Jill go upstairs. So, yeah, Lara probably has the edge there.
Gotta up your game, Jill.
Yeah, but if it was like the super advanced Jill that's like, you know, I don't know, what did Wesker do to her in Resident Evil 5? She was some kind of like ninja assassin Jill. She might have the edge there, I think.
She had the weird gem on her chest or whatever, right? You had to shoot, and if you were off the mark even slightly, you kill her, and you're like, oh, well.
Yeah. Also, like, if you've got that gem in your chest and that's your one weak point, you probably shouldn't have your like bodysuit like zipped down to there so we can see your cleavage.
Hey, man, I'm pretty sure like Chris like rips it open or something, which, you know what? That better not be in the remake because that's inappropriate. Even if you're trying to save someone's life, inappropriate.
That whole game is just so problematic on many levels. But yeah, it was also the year that the Nintendo 64 was released. So great. Well done, guys. Yeah. Came a bit late to the party, never quite caught up. But in terms of movies, in terms of the box office tallies, the top 5 biggest films of the year were Independence Day, woo, USA, Twister, which was a good fun movie with Bill Paxton. Got fond memories of that. Mission Impossible, the very first Mission Impossible kicked off in 1996.
Well.
That's absurd.
Still going.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. The Rock, which I've got a real passion for.
We both have a real passion for that one. Yeah.
It's just so good. And The Nutty Professor.
Yeah, why not?
Take it or leave it. But yeah, other movies that came out that year: Jerry Maguire, 12 Monkeys, Heat, Leaving Las Vegas, From Dusk Till Dawn, Scream, of which there have been about 200 now.
Yeah.
Trainspotting, and the all-time classic, Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Man, Another fun year for movies back then.
Yeah.
And you said you couldn't find many world events. Maybe that was the perfect year where everything was just not happening.
Nothing significantly bad took place that year. Well, actually, there was in terms of my country, but I don't want to bring the mood down, so I'm not going to go
exactly. Into that. It was a perfect year. Nothing went wrong.
Everything was fine, yes. 1996, great year for everyone involved. Also, just in case you're curious about TV shows, the top rated shows of the year in terms of viewership were ER, which was massive. Seinfeld, Suddenly Susan. I don't know much about that. Friends, you might have heard of that one. It was an up-and-coming show. And The Naked Truth. Oh,
I don't even know that one. Yeah, fair enough.
No, I've never heard of that one. It's American, anyway. But you know what's not American? He is from the north of England. He is occasionally angry about video games, and he's been absent from the open bar for a critically long amount of time. It is Heel versus Babyface.
Hello,
as you mad lad.
I can't. January. It feels like a bit about a month. It feels like about 4 weeks or so.
It's been so long. I don't even remember who this guy is. Where'd you find him? Was this heel like that? None of that's a word.
Someone recommended
it's like
him
4
to me.
words.
Yeah. Every time I kept asking him on open bar, he's like, "No, I've got to get my bathroom done."
It's true.
It is a beautiful bathroom.
I was having the workman was arriving at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, so I needed my sleep.
Nah, that's fair play. It does look like a glorious place to take a dump now. So yeah, well done.
I had a shower before this stream just for an excuse to have a shower before the stream.
Got to be cleaned up before you come here, right?
Yeah,
we have very high standards for this stream.
I even put my bald bro daily on.
Wow.
Which stops my bald head from shining. It puts
I thought it was going to make hair grow back or something.
Dude. You haven't invented that yet.
No, I'm happy with this lot. It's so easy to manage.
I think it looks great, man. It's streamlined. It's athletic. It's the way to go, man.
Everything unlike me.
Anyway, it's great to finally have you back. We're halfway through the year and we finally managed this scenario. So thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you.
Good to see you again. And another staple of the open bar who's not been on for a little while. He is a Gundam, and he is here, and it's him. Welcome back.
The nature boy here. Oh, there's no applause sound effects. Damn.
This isn't Gary's stream. I don't have applause on standby.
I really should have bought one, huh? Boy, I didn't plan this out really. Like I figured I'd run in, do some Ric Flair. There'd be applause going off. I'd make the character strut like this. Oh well,
Right.
help it.
We can post clap emojis. I think
we'll do it later. Have somebody edit that in.
Yeah, I'll take care of this in editing. I'll fix it in post. Don't worry. I love your background, by the way. It's beautiful.
She's here to offer me support in these trying times.
Aw.
Well, that's Hollywood, baby. Anyway, no, it's good to have you back, man. It's good to have you back on the open bar.
It's good to be here, to ruin another show, to upset people, to divide and multiply. I got nothing.
That's mainstream media's job. Our job is just to have a laugh.
I'm trying to get a work on the Daily Wire. I think they could use some anime representation.
Sounds a bit satanic.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, crap, I forgot.
Oh, yeah. We've also got Chris Gore, who's going to join us a little bit later, and he's going to share his thoughts on Furiosa because he's seen it. So curious to know what he thinks of it. But for the time being, since the bar is assembled, more or less, the first thing I was curious to know about was Assassin's Creed Shadows. And maybe, Gundam, you can shed some light on this because Ubisoft released the trailer for it, a few days ago. It's currently sitting at 7.7 million views. Pretty good. 275,000 upvotes. Nice. Oh, but it's also got 658,000 downvotes, which, according to them, they've even admitted this, is the most disliked trailer in the series history. Maybe you can shed some light on why.
Well, it's because all of you people are filthy, disgusting, racist, bigots, transphobes, You're also agoraphobes. You're against plushophilia, which is people who have relationships with plushies. I heard from my good friend Jay Sonic that you guys are terrible people. The funny thing is you don't know who Jay Sonic is, but that's a guy who has been having a romantic relationship with a Sonic plushie from 1996, by the way. Huh?
Wow.
Segue.
Nice.
And he's been blowing loads into it ever since.
Oh my God.
It must be pretty used by now.
It's terrible. He also poops on it, so it's a very interesting color of brown.
Oh,
but Ash, you didn't know? I'll send you videos, dude. You gotta see this.
Hey, I'm fine. I'm okay.
10 minutes. 10 minutes into the show.
I'm trying to give up movies.
All right, I'll get serious. Assassin's Creed Shadows. We're now following the adventures of the Black Samurai. It's very positive. It's very good. Did you know that he might be gay or non-binary, by the way? In fact, both protagonists are. So I'm just here for it. I love the representation. It's good to see a vassal finally coming up in the world and getting the respect that he deserves. It only took Twitter boasting about him for a year solid, telling me that Black people were the original Japanese. It was a very interesting time, the AI art we had. It was the Renaissance, if you will. Az, what are you laughing for, you bigot? I
just thought of a joke. Sorry, my bad.
I'm all for it. Tell me.
No,
you have to do it now. You can't.
It was British. You know, it's a British thing.
Believe me, I've watched British stuff all the time.
Okay, all right.
Hit me with it.
The joke was Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh, bloody hell. It flew right over my head. This is that British humor people keep talking about. It's just too sophisticated.
Yeah.
Why would you call an Assassin's? You take feudal Japan. You make a black protagonist its lead. Even Fluffy's not happy. You make a black protagonist lead, and then you call it Assassin's Creed Shadows.
That's because he blends in, you bigot. He's an assassin. Uh-oh.
He's not an assassin, though. He's a samurai. There's a difference. Well, and his character in the trailer had a big club.
We're going to split hairs. So the assassin guy is a black samurai, which, it's far-fetched. He's going to take out people, and nobody's going to be able to identify him. Being the only black guy in Japan. You need to not think
he blends right in.
I also like the idea he sneaks upside over with a huge club.
It's like the Team America thing where it's like you might want to take your own life, in which case you better have this. He gives him a hammer.
Oh my God. Is this show canceled yet?
Probably, yeah. But no, they were quite proud of the fact that he is allegedly based on a real historical figure. It's Yasuke, who was a black person who was living in Japan at that period. And they, according to Ubisoft, he was the legendary samurai who forged an entire nation. Until you actually look up the real historical figure and you find out that he was just a retainer. And he never fought in a single battle, never fought a single duel.
Well,
he was only in Japan for just over a year, and then he got sent home again.
Technically, he did try to fight after Nobunaga was assassinated, and he immediately was defeated.
Yeah.
So there was a battle. He just didn't win.
Is that level going to be in the game?
I certainly hope so.
Do one fight and lose.
Just go home.
Credits. 58,000 DLC add-ons to buy.
Is this considered cultural appropriation? I don't know. Like, you're taking that historical setting of Japan and trying to pull characters from different ethnicities in there who really weren't there at the time.
I think it's just racist. I don't think it's cultural appropriation.
Hey, why not both? Racist. Let's pop them in the blender and, mix it up.
Did you see the internal memo from Ubisoft?
I don't believe I did.
Oh, I can bring that up for you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, this is going to be lovely.
There was there's lots of Yumi-san pictures.
Share those as well.
Share the screen.
Click it now.
Do it. Done it. Right. Fine. Did it.
All right. Let's go.
All right. Let's see.
Okay. So we got.
Let me get my face ready.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Zoom in. Enhance.
More.
Wait, it's also a video. Make it play too.
Make it play.
It's on TikTok, so
Make it bounce.
Gundam
was massive.
He's inspecting the screen.
Well, now that it's over,
let me get the actual proper news, shall we? Let's get that.
Let's get serious about this, gentlemen.
I'd be
serious man.
I'd be here all day if I didn't.
This is a look into me and Drinker's science team, by the way. This is usually how it goes.
Yeah.
I can't stop looking at Rachel Zegler on Gundam's screen.
Oh, let me fix it.
Goofy.
She looks sad.
What's the name?
My movie's never coming out.
Madam Web movie.
So this apparently is from an internal memo from Ubisoft. First, we want to make it very clear that we do not accept hate, harassment, and other forms of abuse in any way. And we are deeply saddened to see the negativity and hatred currently spreading on our co-workers' personal profiles and on our partners' social media platforms.
Wouldn't it be fucking perfect if ever we had a company that just put out an announcement and said, we want to make it very clear that we not only accept hate, harassment, and other forms of abuse, but we prefer it. We especially enjoy it when it's directed at our work. Here's a bunch of links to their social media pages, please.
Here's their personal details. Go. Wait, what?
I like this. We are proud to represent the diversity and inclusion that exists in society as part of our everyday work. Representation is part of our DNA and will remain that way regardless of external pressure or influences. Now, I could argue that having a Japanese protagonist is quite good for inclusion. You know, they don't always get represented that well in video games, so that would be a nice thing to do. But
it's time to stop the Asian hate. I agree.
Well, there wasn't much diversity in feudal Japan.
No, it was really the opposite of diversity that you had there.
Hell, there's not much diversity in current day Japan.
No.
And for good reason. I have to say, Sergeant of a Cod showed me some diversity today that I would love to share, but I think it would be bad.
Excellent upgrade on your background there.
Yes.
I'm here to help.
You make a couple of great points.
I like this super chat from John Gates as well. The police line up after his first assassination. The witness feels too racist and guilty to point to him. Ubisoft goes full subversion at the end and has the final boss fight be the most racist thing ever with basketball and watermelon and crap. I feel like they would do that and think it was progressive though. Like that's the kind of mindset that they get into. But yeah, I think the cherry on top was just the fact that he's going to probably be gay as well. Just, okay. Sure.
Well, Ubisoft said that you will be able to have multiple different relationships with, and I think they phrased it with different genders or different persons, which made people believe that they were talking about both male and female, because there's only two genders, of course. People.
You know what's interesting here, just when I'm going down to like the fourth paragraph of this little memo, it says, given the current polarization of this topic online, we believe that having a respectful and constructive dialogue is difficult, if not impossible, to achieve. In this context, we ask you not to engage with or interact with these conversations, as this could worsen the situation for yourself, our teams, and our industry peers. So essentially, even if someone was to come to you in the most respectful way and say, yeah, I'm not entirely convinced this is a good move on your part. I think you're trying to project current social norms into a game set in feudal Japan, and you should be more respectful towards the culture. They're just abrogating all responsibility for having that conversation and just saying, no, if anyone talks to you like that, they're racist, and you just don't talk to them back.
Yes.
Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. Makes sense.
If it wasn't Yasuke, if it was just a Japanese, if it was a Japanese gentleman and a Japanese female, I don't think anybody would have a single issue whatsoever. In actual fact, I think it probably would have received quite a good reception.
Oh, yes. Like Assassin's Creed Origins. None of us had a problem with that.
It's a cool setting, like feudal Japan, samurai, ninjas, like assassins, all that stuff. Like that's very cool. Everyone loved Shogun, so it's just it's an extension of that kind of popularity.
If we then had like everyone complaining about the monetization and like fucking Ubisoft's mechanics getting more iterative every single game, you probably have Ubisoft then poking you with a stick, be like, "Be racist! Don't point out that stuff. Talk about racism."
I think people are just so used to it now. At this point, they really don't even. It doesn't faze them for some reason. $130 version of this shitty game. The fact that it even exists is ridiculous. But it is what it is. We're in a consumer society, and everybody's a good little consumer.
I hate to say it, it feels like we lost that war more than a decade ago or something.
We lose a lot of wars, I fear.
Yeah.
But I will never give up the war on rocking tits.
Oh yeah. Well, Sydney Sweeney's leading the charge on that one, so it's okay. I'll get behind her.
Somehow titties always find their way back. They keep coming back, and that's good.
Boobs find a way. But yeah, I mean, just talking about this game, like from a development point of view, if your goal was to have a black protagonist, we just really want that for representation purposes. Okay, well, you can set the story in, say, sub-Saharan Africa in the Middle Ages. I am sure there's all kinds of kingdoms, empires that have risen and fallen during that time period that popular culture doesn't really address very often. I think there's a whole host of things you could do with that. There's an untapped resource of storytelling that you could both give you your representation and help to educate people about a period that most people don't really know much about. That would be
like
great.
The Zulu nation fighting against the English Imperials.
Mm-hmm.
England.
Then all the people who are really upset with white people in America can finally live out their Shaka Zulu fantasy.
I mean, it turns out that spears and shields versus guns isn't a good matchup, as we found out. But
to be fair, one of the sides
they
had
did
Michael
win a couple
Caine.
battles.
What's that, MauLer? Sorry?
One of the sides had Michael Caine, so it kind of made it unfair.
That is true, yeah. And they were Welsh mostly as well. So
at me. Yeah.
My point being, though, like there is a lot of things that you could have done, but it didn't have the appeal of feudal Japan. It didn't have that instantly recognizable aesthetic of samurai and katanas and all that lovely stuff. That's that amalgamation of ideology and capitalism.
But the thing is not just that they did it for inclusion and diversity purposes, which they did. It's that they've made it so ridiculous now because this is literally the only black guy in fucking Japan. So if it gets around like, oh yeah, if this guy turns up, people die. It just from a logical perspective looks stupid. It's a stupid visual, and you're trying to immerse yourself in this, and essentially everyone around you has got to be stupid. It's got to be dumb. We go to the Fallout argument. Oh, everyone's retarded, I guess.
Yes.
Don't get more started on
attention
that.
to Zoomers.
I didn't say nothing.
If you pay attention to Zoomers, they know nothing about history at all. So this works for them. By the way,
everyone's going to act normal. Nobody's going to act particularly. This guy was an anomaly. The real life situation with him is he was literally paraded around the town as a curiosity by the Lord.
And he only got a samurai level because Nobunaga needed to be around, the aristocracy or something, instead of like just some random black guy peasant.
Yeah, it's that's what it's the stupidity of it. Games are there for immersion, or stories like this are meant to be there for immersion. Sure, there's a suspension of disbelief, but this is now getting onto DIE, because I call it DIE because it is fucking die. This is this DIE from current day being placed into a feudal setting, and it looks stupid. It's the same as when people were complaining that Kingdom Come Deliverance didn't have diversity in 11th century, 10th century England. It's just like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
That makes no sense.
No. Might be some French people.
Well, maybe
this is the problem. When people take like the BBC as like their source for like historical reality, they get a skewed perspective on what medieval Europe actually looked like. So
spoiler
I can't say I'm surprised at this point.
very, very white.
Oh, that's
I mean, if you went to like the south of Spain, the Moors had invaded there from North Africa, but that's about as far as you would get. Like, if you were to go to Northern Europe, it would be pretty homogenous back in the Middle Ages. And it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just historical reality, I suppose.
Exactly. And these groups of people are trying to make history racist. It's the way it was. That even now, the UK is still 85% white. That's the vast majority of the UK. That's not me being racist or anyone who's white in the UK being racist. That's just statistical fact. You had the remember the CD Projekt Red DIE ESG video that they did? Oh, yeah, CD Projekt Red are embracing ESG. And they're talking about all this oh yes, we're inclusive and diverse. And all they showed was that all of CD Projekt Red's full of fucking white people.
Well, they are in an area for all white people.
But that's just it. It's like they're trying to gaslight you. It's like this is what it's actually like. This is what the demographic is actually like at this part of the world. But we're talking about inclusion and diversity and being open for all, and we're gonna go into all these different programs and all this, and it's just like, but that's not the reality of where you live. You're doing it purely for financial benefit.
Yeah, pretty much, because they're subsidized by the government, aren't they? I need to subsidize this channel by the government. Lots of diversity
CD Projekt Red are, I think that, they get government subsidies because they're such a big, I guess, source of employment and revenue.
Oh, by the way, Drinker, you actually know the context of that image Gundam's just pulled up now.
One of my longtime favorites.
I showed
it's
him
how I feel inside.
The Smiling Friends pilot. That's where it's from.
Oh God, yeah.
If you look at the character's shorts, his dick is hanging out.
Excellent. Nice. We need to watch the rest of Smiling Friends because that episode was bonkers, man.
Yeah, it was.
It's when the CEO guy started breastfeeding.
The guy that Mike Stoklasa voices, who's just spent the whole episode trying to kill himself, trying to convince himself to pull the trigger.
Even when he's riding a roller coaster, he's still got the gun. Like,
yeah. While he's on the roller coaster, he's still got it to his head. when he's like, I guess I'm gonna kill myself, he's like, well, what about that? He just points to an ant on the floor and he's like, the ant? He's like, yeah. Do you like that?
He's like, it's kind of neat, I guess, but it doesn't make me want to not kill myself.
Nick finds his purpose in life blowing away invaders. Interesting ending.
He kills all the bliblies.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, I guess that was the saga of Assassin's Creed Shadows.
So will you be buying it? That's the real question.
It might surprise you to know this, but I might buy it actually just to see how bad it is.
So they win anyway.
I know. I don't buy Ubisoft games and I don't buy Assassin's Creed games because every Assassin's Creed game's the same and they're all fucking boring.
I mean, it does feel like a premise that might have outlived itself, I suppose. Like, how many Assassin's Creed games have we had at this point?
They tried to change it Origins to be more like The Witcher. Then I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah.
It's just like that image, though, right? The $69.99, $109.99, $129.99, and then they're like, however, if you buy Ubisoft Plus, it's like this used to be a joke. Like 5 years ago, this would have been a joke, but fucking hell,
a lot of things that would have been a joke 5 years ago are now our realities.
Yeah, but yeah, like, you know, I bought Helldivers for what, 30 quid or something, and it was a nice quick download, and it's good to go. It was working straight away, and it's barely had any updates. Just simple stuff. No extra expense, no add-ons or anything like that. It's been nice. I've enjoyed that. Like, it can be done. It's just, the state of these like AAA games that just are absolute money factories. It's absurd.
Well, I do believe the Helldivers community manager was one of those really hyper progressive types, posturing on Twitter. But at least they're smart enough to make a game that basically you don't have to identify for anything because everybody's in a suit of armor.
It's kind of I mean, Gundam, you might know better than me, but I've heard that the player base for Helldivers 2 has been collapsing gradually as well.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, MauLer. I've been drinking regularly. And I've been unplugging from the internet for quite a while, ever since January, I'd say. So I'm kind of out of the loop for a lot of things.
Well, I think that the controversy they suffered semi-recently wouldn't have helped, but gradually speaking, they've just gone from they were peaking at one point as nearly like 500,000 active players, and they're down to 66,000 now.
It's probably just the nature of the beast, really.
There is a natural shrinkage. We all have to deal with it, but I think that it might be a bit worse for this game than it could have been. Let's put it that way.
There's been a lot of controversies there, I suppose. And I feel like, I guess that puts people off.
They had a lot of momentum to capitalize on, and they hit a brick wall temporarily, and it fucked up the speed, I think, a little bit.
Yeah. Kind of a shame. But, well, there's one thing we can all laugh at, and that's Doctor Who. Because
oh, God, no.
They, obviously, a few days ago, I'm sure we've all heard this, they posted their overnight ratings for the most recent episode, which was...
Boom,
an absolute masterpiece.
Boom, that was so the third episode of Doctor Who has lost another 400,000 viewers. It's the worst viewership figures in the show's entire 60-year history. Just over 2 million. So it's 2.04 million viewers for their overnight ratings.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Don't mind me. We're having some problems here.
Uh-oh.
Because you mentioned Doctor Who.
It does have something to do with Doctor Who. Just
I wonder how many more times the background's going to change. But
this is high quality content.
It is superb, yeah. And this is how well organized we are on Open Bar. Keep it going, Gundam. I believe in you.
Yeah, let's see. I got pressing buttons here.
Oh,
micro's still on. Oh, Christ Almighty!
I want to see how it plays out. Looking good as.
Thank you.
But Shooty Gatwa told us that we should go and touch grass and not watch the show. And so it seems like 400,000 people have answered the call. Nice place you live in, as I like that.
Thank you. I just bought it during the show.
It's looking
I
good,
knew he was living well.
This is your bathroom, isn't it, that you've been getting done?
Yes. I got a grand piano in there,
You always had the fingers of a wonderful pianist, I could tell.
I have been commented on my wonderful pianist before, yes.
Could we have some Moonlight Sonata?
Maybe later tonight.
All right. It does match my Jinx Monsoon, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that fucking character.
Do you know, that's an episode I didn't anywhere near, but it feels like I watched that episode, even though I didn't, like in a bad way. It's like, go.
You sort of absorbed the stink of that episode just by talking about it, perhaps.
Well, see,
Sorry.
I was going to say, I got like traded by people telling me that Boom was great. They were like, they said it's way better than all the other episodes I had seen of the new era. Well, the RTD return, whatever you want to call that as an era. But I don't even know. Fucking Az, you've seen a selection. What's the best one out of all the ones you've
Which
seen
one
recently?
put music in your soul?
No.
Exactly. That's how I feel too.
Just no.
No, I have to watch it because everybody seems so adamant against this. Look how inspiring this is.
I mean, it's glorious. It's stunning and brave. But conceivably, could they dip below 2 million for their overnight ratings if we carry on like this?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
It kind of looks like it, right?
I think the 2.04, I definitely think that's a rating based off the first two back-to-back episodes, which were absolutely appalling. Some people, for some reason, think the Moffat episode was good. Whatever. So next week, you might actually see it go up a little bit because of the Moffat rating. But there's only 8 episodes, and I could see it because we're back to RTD after that. I could see that just dipping below 2 million on overnights.
Yeah. Is it just like a dead franchise now? Like, have
Yeah.
people just completely checked out of it?
Yeah, it's the same as Star Trek. Star Trek's dead. Doctor Who's absolutely dead.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. They're rebooting Star Trek, you bigot. It's going to be back and bigger than ever.
Yeah, not so much. Yeah, not so much. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about it.
That's a
Doesn't
good
matter
point,
if
actually.
they reboot it. Doesn't matter if they put. It's a new Kirk and Spock, and nobody gives a fuck. There's been 58 fucking Kirks now and 68,000 fucking Spocks, and they're all fucking retarded.
It's so funny because it's like the new one. Meanwhile, me and Drinker made we recently completed our Star Trek OG films journey, which is just like, yeah, that's where you should spend your time instead. So watching the old
Yeah, like watching that and just feeling like, I watched a nice movie there. I really enjoyed that. That was good. I remember when Star Trek was good and it could really move you and address like really interesting ideas in a smart way. That was
Make you think about
Beast
things
Whales.
differently.
They were done. It was done beautifully. You know, he's got to appreciate that. That's gonna. There's really another one coming. I thought they were trying to bait out Star Trek 4.
Oh no, it's rebooted now, dude. It's over.
Fuck's sake.
Well,
So what's the nature of this reboot then? How's that working?
I don't know. They just like announced it.
Okay. Is it like a
all
Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars announcement, or is it like a legit?
Yeah,
Like,
is it
this
real?
actually
Let me
happening?
look. Now I gotta go find it.
Well, they've been trying to get a fourth movie going for years, and some people have thought it's way further on than is actually the reality. Because the reality is they kept approaching the actors, and the actors kept declining. And so one of their Star Trek 4 announcements was, "We're doing Star Trek 4, approaching the actors again." That was actually an announcement. Was they're approaching the actors again to see whether or not they're interested in Star Trek 4. And now they go,
We got
the whole thing again.
According to the Hollywood Reporter, the production company is currently in talks with Simon Kinberg of X-Men to produce a Star Trek feature film for the big screen. According to THR, the film would be set decades before the 2009 Star Trek movie directed by J.J. Abrams. How is it going to have Kirk and Spock?
It's like Baby Kirk or something. It would just be crawling around on the floor of the Enterprise.
On the
Baby.
captain's chair.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out, by the way, that when we did our little recap of Undiscovered Country, one of the ideas was to do like a prequel that was going to be set in Starfleet Academy when Kirk, Spock, and Bones all met each other for the first time. And Paramount rejected it because it was fucking stupid and no one wanted that. And that was in 1990.
So that's a different time.
Yeah, that was
people
when
had
they still had that's when they had some respect.
There were still two genders in 1990. What cavemen they were.
The new Star Trek project is still set to have Abrams' involvement, so that's great. But Kinberg would be stepping in to produce the new movie. THR says that audiences would get the chance to see the world of Star Trek in a time period much closer to our own, featuring the development of Starfleet and initial contact with alien life.
Hi, that's called Star Trek Enterprise.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
And
now
that wasn't
getting
amazing
other
either, but-
stuff.
It was. I tell you what, you watch it now, you'd be like, "Holy shit, this is actually really good."
Oh yeah.
And seasons 3 and 4 were actually they really did get a lot better. Don't touch that finale with a barge pole, though. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think what was his name? Rick Berman even came out and apologized for that in the years following it. Like, just straight up said that was a fucking terrible idea. Shouldn't have done it. Really sorry. So I mean, there is that. Like, remember when filmmakers would have a bit of humility and they would acknowledge when they screwed up.
Yeah,
I don't think Russell T Davies is ever going to say, "I'm sorry for the 14th Doctor. It was a bad idea. I gave you terrible scripts for this." It's just not going to happen.
No,
I don't think he cares.
Why would he?
Well,
He doesn't have to.
I tried to like put myself in the mindset of this guy. Like,
That's where you made your first mistake.
Well, true, yeah, mind. But it's like you 20 years ago, you brought Doctor Who back from the dead. You produced some excellent scripts, gave us some great storytelling. You really made this work. Then you're brought back 20 years later. You're older. The show's on the downward spiral into oblivion already. What do? Do you try and produce really good stuff and recapture the magic of your earlier days? Or do you just indulge all your whims as a person and as a creative and just make it all about you and what matters to you? And it seems like we have our answer.
100, please do.
Yeah. Well, it seems like we have our answer. He's he's obviously getting to do what he wants to do and tell the stories he wants to tell, as your background would attest to.
This just looks like something that is inspiring. There's a little boy right now who's twerking on TikTok who saw Doctor Who for the first time, and he is going to change the world later when he picks his new gender.
I think Russell genuinely believes this is groundbreaking TV, and I hope it was worth it, Russell. I really hope it was, to stroke your ego and just let you indulge your whims as a creative. So we can add another show to the list of stuff that can be consigned to the ash heap of history. So
did he get paid for it?
Oh yeah,
I assume
he
so.
Wins. Hell, if I got paid to chump out some trash, I'd smile all the way to the bank.
I don't know, Gundam. Would you really want to be connected to this?
I'm ready to sell out. I'm tired of being broke. Let's go. Doctor Who is a gay alien with 2 vaginas. Next season,
and 17 penises.
Hermaphrodite. Let's go.
Yeah.
Is that Drigger, was that a reference to the Mitchell and Webb show? Or did you do that by accident?
I just did that by accident.
They have this sketch show. They do make fun of like British documentaries, and they're like, "We are now going to look into the life of the man who lives with 17 penises."
I was kind of thinking a little bit about Father Ted when Dougal's describing the Beast of Craggy Island, where he's like, its hands are as big as cups, and instead of a mouth, it's got 4 arses.
If I remember that sketch, probably the 17 penises one. I think it's David Mitchell, and he's just like, most things are normal. It gets in the way every once in a while.
I imagine it would.
But when you mentioned about Star Trek there, I haven't even thought about that franchise, apart from like what MauLer and I have done, like going back, 30, 40 years to like examine the really old stuff. I haven't thought about anything current that they've been doing for a long time. Because they've got like Strange New Worlds, they've got Discovery, they've got Below Decks as well.
Yeah.
They're going to do last time I heard they were going to do like a Section 31 show.
Oh. Yeah, apparently that's going ahead. Apparently.
But who watches it? Who even cares about it at this point? Nobody seems to be talking about Star Trek anymore. At least back in the day, there was a bit of anger about things like Discovery, like, wow, this is a bit shit.
Apathy.
Now no one even cares.
That's the problem. When people are angry, it's because they're passionate. It's because they care. It's because they do care. You're angry because you've seen something that you've loved being turned into this, and you're angry because you want to voice your opinion and you want to get them to change it to how it was. When apathy sets in, that's it. Apathy is the death of that's the death of your franchise. Not the anger, because that shows you still care. The apathy just shows that no one gives a fuck anymore. And apathy is reflected in the viewership, as you've seen with Doctor Who. Ever since they did the Timeless Children, that was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
And the refusal to backtrack on the Timeless Children. Once that was done, that was the nail in the coffin for a lot of long-time Doctor Who fans. And without Russell T Davies, we thought, is there a chance the guy who actually did wonderful things for Doctor Who coming back, retcon the Timeless Children, let's get back to a madman in a box. We don't care that Ncuti Gatwa was black and gay. Is he going to be a doctor? That was kind of like the vibe. And he came back and was like, oh no, it's going to be about transgenderism and fucking gay and all this kind of crap, because this is the world I live in, and I believe that my world's correct and you need to be preached to. And it's like, oh no, okay, it's dead. Okay, we get it. So that's where a lot of people just go, done.
The statement that I heard that was most telling was from that fine individual behind you, Gundam, Jinx Monsoon.
Oh yeah,
who said, like if people have got a problem with like my casting or the queer direction that this show's going, they can just get the fuck out, basically. And for every bigot that leaves, there's going to be like 3 or 4 other people who come in as new fans who are just so excited about the diversity and representation. And I thought that right there is a perfect encapsulation of what it means to be out of touch with normal people.
Yeah. I blame Drag Race on this. As a man who knows a bit about drag, I feel that the Drag Race television show completely set back gay culture and drag culture decades, in my opinion. it also created a weird sort of pseudo fan base of normies and casuals. Back when I was involved in the drag scene, it was rock and roll. All right, I'm coming out of the closet, children. Now drag is like it's this commercial, corporate, sanitized, homogenized fucking bullshit that's about as edgy as I don't know, Marquez Brownlee YouTube review on a watch. It's fucking terrible, dude. And since we got a bunch of normies and TikTok generation people, and you know how Twitter is, Twitter will sit there and tell you something's great no matter how bad it sucks, long as it's gay coded. They love it. Then they put it out and no one watches it. It's like the entire fan base leaves. So Jinx Monsoon, I think, is a victim of becoming a little too successful for a short period of time. And when you get successful, a lot of people eat your ass. You know how it is, Drinker. I'm pretty sure a lot of people just tell you you're the moon and the stars, but you're a normal guy, so you haven't lost your fucking mind. Whereas the Jinx Monsoon has flown off the deep end a long time ago. Doctor Who's tragic. I feel bad for you, English blokes. I know you guys liked it. It was a good old time. The Timeless Children. Never saw it, but I've heard the name so many times it blows my mind. I know that's where the end started because somebody always goes off about the Timeless Children, the Timeless Children. I'm like, what did those kids do?
I think it was the TLJ of Doctor Who, basically. There was no going back from that.
Now I understand.
They changed the origin story of the Doctor. Instead of being a Time Lord from Gallifrey, he was a little black baby that fell.
Wait, what?
He's a little black baby girl that fell through the portal.
It takes a bit of explaining.
And then was murdered over and over and over again by a woman called Tek Tayun to learn the powers of regeneration.
I'm trying to make sense of all this, please.
Yeah.
So are we.
So are we. And then they wiped the Doctor's memory, so they forgot who they were, and they were an agent of, I don't know, fucking a police. Oh fuck it, what some shite. And then the Doctor got the memory back somehow, and then instead of regenerating, they now split into two across all of time and space every time they die.
By generation.
Is that like canon now? That so it just started now.
There are two TARDISes fucking flying around too.
Well, because Russell T Davies did he not like get asked about this, and he was like, "Wait, so Sylvester McCoy just like woke up in a fucking morgue drawer somewhere in America because like he got killed in the TV." TV movie.
By generated, so
he's like, yeah, sure, okay, let's go with that. Okay,
I love it when they do that with lore. It's great.
I gotta say, like, that has to be the most wild synopsis for a character retcon I've ever fucking heard in my life. And I used to hang out on Tumblr.
You haven't heard anything yet, Gundam, because in the llast episode where Shooting Gathra was introduced as the bi-generating Doctor, they said that all the Doctors across time and space, which now are not 14 or 15. Now there's hundreds of thousands of them, all bi-generated at the same time. So the ones that died also no longer died. They just split into two. So now there's double the Doctors. And then the next episode, he goes, I'm the last of the Time Lords.
Yeah.
And we're like,
you can't say that anymore. You're far from the last.
There was a genetic time bomb that killed everyone across time and space. Last episode, there were like gazillion of you, just you.
Well, haven't they said as well? Like, who knows how many Doctors there were before Hartnell?
Exactly, but if you work it out, it's like at least hundreds of thousands.
There's a whole planet filled with the Doctor out there somewhere.
Well, he's got like an army now.
Episode.
Army of Doctors. There you go. That's the finale. It's gonna be great.
He's going to keep growing exponentially because if he keeps bi-generating at like an exponential rate, he'll eventually fill the entire mass of the universe with just Doctors.
They will. When Shudigawa regenerates, they're going to forget this shit. He'll just have a regular one, probably.
Well, that's assuming that there's another Doctor after this one, which I
yeah.
If you're struggling to pull in 2 million viewers overnight, like I don't think you're going to go much further than this.
It's Disney money. It's Disney money.
Wouldn't it be
That is
funny if they
true.
were like,
What's the value of it? Like, what is the point of even making this?
Well, they reckon Disney gave them $100 million to make this season.
oh my
Wow.
God.
It's less than She-Hulk.
I have. Well, I say this season. It looks like $100 million for this season and the season that they've just filmed. So 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Is it? What's the standard for Doctor's longevities? Like, is it 3 seasons?
3 seasons in the current year, I think.
Yeah, minimum of 3 seasons plus specials.
Because that's only going to be the next thing that I'll have any interest in. I don't care at all now about. If anyone tells me the new episode's amazing, even if you tell me as, I'm not going to believe you.
No,
I
you
don't
would.
think
If I
you
told you it's
shouldn't,
amazing, you would believe. You would believe.
If as
I would be
was
curious.
amazing,
I can't lie because I feel like you hate it way more than I do. So
you would know he was a synth from Fallout the second he
yeah, I
started
feel like
using
you're a fucking scroll.
Yes.
What have you done with the real ass?
Yeah.
You just hear him in the background.
it. Gay Skynet is finally here.
Don't watch the episode of shit.
Your friend is already dead.
What a shame. A
Oh,
long,
man.
drawn-out shame too.
Doesn't it
Wonderful
seem like
show
we're
for the
held
family.
hostage by like the entertainment industry? It's like they're slow torturing us, waterboarding
no,
us with
because-
bad
What is-
shows and movies.
No, it's like we're
This is like
sorry,
a
go on.
torture chamber that we can just stand up from
Yes.
and walk out the door.
Exactly. They're like, ha! I have you in this room.
I'm free.
I have all these. Look, there's chains, there's shackles, there's all these equipment. Ha ha! You try. You just literally get up and walk out. And like, wait, no. Come back!
You're cheating.
Big
Well,
ass!
It's worse even than that though, because it's like, haha, I'm going to torture you with all these horrifying implements, but I also need you to pay me like at least $15 a month to do it, and you could leave at any time. Like, haha, I got you at my mercy.
They got me. I got to pay for my family's stupid
To start the
subscriptions.
torture, you must give me $10. No.
And it's like we want your
I want
age,
him.
sex, and location.
I
I'm
think,
like, why, Disney?
if you wanted a good example or a good argument for canceling your BBC license fee, I think Doctor Who is your perfect ammunition to say, like, I'm sorry that your programming no longer represents my values as a human being, and I'm going to be canceling. I'm not going to pay my subscription fee anymore.
Yep, you pick
because I
up the
don't have
phone,
to.
you say, listen here, mate, I've taken a lot of the chuff, but this one really stinks.
Yeah.
And they're like, we understand.
Nobody likes a stinky chuff.
Oh. No one likes a
Indeed.
Dutch oven.
But, well, I mean, we can
Have
add
you
this
done
to
a
the
Dutch
list
oven?
of...
Forget it.
Okay.
I was asking guys.
No comment.
That's a yes.
What's this one here? Both AC and Doctor Who are crazy back-to-back examples of how to make diversity create more division. Nobody would have minded Yasukui if he was made by 2012 Ubisoft, or a Black Doctor if he was cast back in 2009. Those companies created this climate. I don't think anyone minded Ncuti Gatwa being cast initially, because, like, well, you know, he's just another actor. No one cares that he's black. No one cared that he was gay. But my God, the fact that he just won't stop talking about being black and gay probably makes people a bit tired of it. Like, how about a crazy idea like you just talk about playing the character and how excited you are to be doing that? Like, why does it have to be about your identity? Why is that the most important aspect of this job for you? I just think it's an interesting one, and it does create division where none exists. It's like they're trying to pick a fight which didn't exist. And inevitably people are going to be annoyed by it, because it's like, I feel like you're just you're spoiling for an argument about something that no one cares about. And it's a shame.
think maybe they have to sort of keep this sort of thing up, hopefully to get some sort of rise out of the fan base, and then someone can keep their diversity job, you know? Like, see, there are a lot of bigots out there. We have to educate them. That's why you need to keep me on the payroll so that we can fight this racism.
Well, to kind of give you some more context, Gundam, the BBC actually has in their policy that they must hire X% black, X% woman, X% disabled. And that percentage has actually just got even larger than it was when they first brought it in. It's called the BBC's Inclusion and Diversity Policy.
I gotta ask a question. I really do.
Yeah.
Okay, Az. I know this might get us in trouble, but what can a disabled person do that a person who's fully able can't do? Out of my curiosity.
Show themselves on screen and then have the BBC pat themselves on the back and go, "Look what I did. I put that cripple on the screen."
I mean, they can fire rockets. Can you do that?
Oh Christ! I forgot about that.
They had a dance scene in the Jinx Monsoon episode that you have there at the end, which had some of the Strictly Come Dancing people on, I believe. I didn't know because I don't.
Were they in
watch that
wheelchairs
either.
or something?
There were 2 people in a wheelchair in the
I gotta
dancing
look
scene.
this up.
Yes.
Gundam, did you keep up with the whole Davros wheelchair debacle with regards to Doctor Who, or is that just totally passed you by?
I saw it and I had a real good laugh.
Because again, that's just a perfect example of you think you're doing good, but you're actually just undermining your own cause, and you're like so patronizing people. You know, like this idea that like, well, if you're in a wheelchair, then of course you must be a good person. Like you're not capable of taking responsibility for your own decisions in your own life. And so you can't possibly ever be bad or like an evil person or whatever, because that's beyond you. And
Well,
it's
let's
so
think
fucking
about Chris
patronizing.
Chris Chan is disabled, and look what he did to his mother. I mean, she.
I
Right,
thought
Ann?
did they get away with that?
Yes, they did. They're now living in the house with their mother again, so the system works.
As part as you said, it was a useless shag.
Oh my God.
Well, I feel sad now. Having heard that.
Yeah, just letting you know, sometimes disabled people can do villainous things.
Indeed.
Yeah. Why are you in a wheelchair? Oh, I had both my legs broken raping a girl.
Oh, God.
Oh.
He said the hard R. Never trust a man in a wheelchair with dirty shoes. That's what my father used to say. What,
By the time I'm done editing all this shit out of this live stream at the end, like my re-upload is going to be about 20 minutes long.
What is that, like a bad saying? I thought it was just like letting you know that the guy was a grifter. I was like, look this up. Listen, my father served in the special forces, the military. He was a hard man.
Every time I go past someone in a wheelchair, now I'm going to say, "Excuse me, sir. Do you mind if I just see the bottom
Check
of your
your shoes.
What? Give me that leg. Give me that fucking leg."
Yeah. Oh man.
Streaker's writing down time codes to edit out.
Yeah, I'm like,
Well, let me check.
normally it's an easy job, but like you're making it a little bit harder for me every time.
We
Thanks,
forced him to
Ash.
edit.
No, I'm going to put this up uncensored. Consequences be damned. I think people deserve it.
We didn't say anything political, so you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be all right. Doesn't matter anyway.
Gundam, what's your opinion on Palestine?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm going to do Drinker a solid and not say anything. I will say it's very funny that the people who worked at Google decided to protest in favor of such ended up getting fired. How very unprogressive of Google.
Were they fired like live in the middle of like some interview?
No, that's the other progressives that demanded a.
Yeah, that was funny. Oh, they've told us to. We're done. What?
Oh,
yeah,
it was great.
We've been let go.
Fun while it lasted.
That was
fun while it lasted.
I was like, get fucked.
That was so funny.
See you at the bread line, asshole.
In other news, Fall Guy, which has been at the cinema for a grand total of 2 weeks, is pretty much done, and it's going to be available on streaming shortly.
Can't wait not to watch it.
I think it already is. I think it's now available.
It's just funny that's a very consistent sort of description of a movie's failure. Like it's on streaming now. You're like, oh
yeah,
just like Aquaman.
And
God,
everyone's favorite.
Magical Society of American African.
Yeah,
I remember the first time I saw that title, I laughed for a solid 10 minutes because I didn't think it was real.
And yet here we are.
That movie fucking disappeared. They missed their opportunity.
Yeah, didn't it make like 2 million at the cinema or something ridiculous? Like no one watched it.
Yeah, I think 2.5 million, and it cost. They're speculating it cost somewhere in the region of 20 million to make.
Yeah,
I'm not as bad as I assumed.
but like in the case of Fall Guy, that was like a movie that was non-political, non-preachy, just a bog standard action comedy. It seemed to be set up to do everything that people have been looking for. And no one really seemed to care. And it just kind of came and went in the space of a couple of weeks. And I think it's interesting. It makes me wonder if that's setting the tone for the year or like the summer movie season this year, where people are just not interested in going to the cinema at all. I mean, I think Furiosa is going to be an interesting example.
I was talking to my dad today. So the funniest fucking responses he had to me, because I was telling him just about like a summary of how movies are going. And I was saying, like, when's the last time you went to the cinema? And he was like, it's been a while. There's nothing good on in it. And I was like, yeah, no. But like, do you remember what was the last time you thought like it was a film worth seeing? And he unironically looked at me and he went, Gladiator?
2000 is that 2000?
Yeah, 2000.
What made it even funnier? I was like, oh, there's a sequel for that coming out. And he was like, why?
What?
Yeah. That's all of our reactions to it.
Yeah. Gladiator.
It was Russell Crowe when he's at like press junkets and stuff. Like, why do people keep asking me about this movie? I'm fucking dead. I'm not even in it.
But there was a rumor, wasn't there, soon after the first one came out, that they were looking to do a sequel with Russell Crowe in the afterlife.
Huh?
I don't know if that was legit or if that was.
I don't know, but that was the rumor though that was going around.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like fighting through Hades or whatever, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
That would have been a real big departure.
I mean, fuck it, why not?
A little bit.
I mean, Ridley Scott, I mean, this is the guy who gave us Prometheus and Alien Covenant, so I feel like anything's on the table with this dude.
Why? It feels like he's spamming at this point, doesn't it? It's like this one. Look, I'm not going to be a director for very much longer, so I'm going to get this shit done.
Napoleon
Oh,
as
like
well. Did he do Napoleon?
Yeah, he gave us Napoleon.
I put my dad right off watching Napoleon. He was like, "Is it worth it?" And I was just like, "No." And then I talked about the pyramid shit and everything Ridley Scott said about accuracy, and he was like, "Oh, all right then."
Aww.
It's hard to believe now. This is the guy who gave us Alien, who gave us Blade Runner. Like, you know, he was making good fucking movies. What happened to him?
He was.
Maybe like they just paid him more to do the message. Who knows?
But when was the last good film that Ridley Scott did?
Gladiator, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, no, actually, The Martian was good.
Some people say The Martian, yeah.
I enjoyed The Martian. Let me see.
That's still fucking ages ago, though.
What, 10 years ago, maybe?
Like, ages in the sense that he's made a shit ton of movies, right?
Well, let's see his filmography here. So, God, Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Nah.
Wow.
Oh God, he did Robin Hood as well.
Yeah. With Russell Crowe, wasn't it?
House of Gucci, The Last Duel, Alien Covenant. Yeah. So The Martian was 2015, so that was almost 10 years ago. Yeah, he's done a lot of bad stuff. I liked A Good Year. That was a nice, just feel-good movie. Everyone forgets about that one, but I quite liked it. That was Russell Crowe again. I think it was his like holiday after doing Gladiator with him.
Someone said chat Gladiator 2, the new batch. Just like they're gonna come for Gremlins. They're gonna get it eventually.
You know, I'm
they're
surprised they
trying
haven't
to,
done
aren't they?
Gremlins.
I actually think they are trying to. I think they're trying to
anything
do
that hasn't yet been pilfered and sullied.
Okay,
definitely.
we should probably name off stuff they haven't done. So Gremlins, Short Circuit, they could do again.
Back
They
to the
could
Future.
screw that one
Back
up.
to the
Back to the
Future,
Future,
yeah.
definitely. You can make
They
him
did
black and a
Short
woman.
Circuit again. It was called Chappie.
Oh, that was
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Hey, some people like that movie. I haven't seen it, but
That movie had such a great like first act, and then the ending was just fucking dog shit. Like, also, it felt like an extended music video for Die Antwoord. Like, I mean,
the Goonies as well.
Yeah, the Goonies.
yeah.
That's when they could do it.
Yeah.
Again.
Oh, they'll have a complete diverse cast in there, won't they?
Well, it could kind of make sense. Like, wasn't Goonies kind of diverse? There's an Asian kid.
Yeah, Short Round.
Yeah. But he was into technology, so that's like it's a stereotype, so we can't have that.
I swear to Christ, I'm gonna get in trouble. I haven't had an Asian friend yet that wasn't smart.
Well, they'll have to go the opposite way. They'll have to make them dumb as fuck, just to balance it out. I can see
what else is there? God, it's
in
hard to
terms
think.
Old IPs. So,
Ghostbusters keeps getting dragged out by.
Yeah, they really need to stop that.
You know what's funny, right? They did such a good job of burying Willow that I was about to say Willow. It's like a thing that it could get remade.
Willow.
It's been memory hold that I've forgotten it.
I had to steal Willow off the internet because they scrubbed it. And I was going to do a video on Willow. And I swear to God, I tapped out by episode 3. I couldn't take it.
It's awful. It's one of the worst fantasy TV shows ever fucking made.
What were they thinking? I would use it to torture terrorists.
Wow.
College kids that really annoy people when you're trying to get to work and they're protesting some shit in another country. I go, that's it, mister. You're watching Willow.
I love the idea. You're like, I want the code for the bomb. And he's like, I'll never give it to you. You literally pull out the fucking case. He goes, 31658.
We haven't made it past season 1.
God damn it. That breaches the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, did I go to jail?
Watch episode 1.
Geneva the Geneva Convention?
The
Geneva Convention? Yeah.
Have you guys seen the trailer for The Witcher season 4? Are you excited for it?
Man slowly turning his head around in 60 seconds.
I'm gonna hot take. I haven't enjoyed
not Henry Cavill. Wow.
Liam Hemsworth has got the Mount fucking Everest of challenges to try and win people over to this shit. Good lord. That shows they should never even have bothered. Like they are wasting their money.
They should have given it to me.
No, they're wasting Netflix's money. There's a difference.
That is true. Yeah. I just don't know what they're expecting to achieve with this. Like, what do you think you're going to get out of your audience that you haven't already done? Like, you've killed people's enjoyment for it. The Witcher Blood Origin gave us a good insight into what you actually want this show to be.
Oh,
And it's,
wow! I forgot that existed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we all did.
Did you like it in Blood Origin where the black chick said, I'm going to do this, and then went to bed, and then they woke up, the guy went, no, you're a black woman. I've sacrificed myself instead because I'm a white man. And they all round the floors.
He became like some creature or whatever, right? And they had to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he became like a prototype Witcher.
Mm.
I think that was the time I hated Drinker the most, because I think you had me watch that whole season in one day.
I didn't make you watch it all in one day.
Almost certain you sent me the fucking text the day, like one day before.
Like my brain just like skipped a gear when I heard they made him a prototype Witcher. That's not how it works. He's an adult, right?
I liked it when the pasty white man met up with the exceedingly dark black man and called him cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that Lenny Henry thinks he's a serious actor.
Oh, well, I saw Rings of Power, so that's a load of shit, Lenny.
I was gonna say, he's self-respecting enough to exit Rings of Power. Like, just like, I'll die, thanks. I don't want to continue.
I think, honestly, if I was him, I would rather go back to doing those Premiere In adverts than
Yeah.
Well, did you ever watch the Lenny Henry show?
That was great.
Yeah, it was funny as shit back in the day.
Yeah.
That was like, what, the like early 90s or something?
Oh, yeah, it was old as fuck, but who cares?
I used to watch the Delbert Wilkins show, which was before the Lenny Henry show. He played the character Delbert Wilkins.
I literally have to Google
love
this.
Lenny Henry. And then, Lenny Henry, when I was a kid, everyone loved Lenny Henry, became the face of Comic Relief.
Yeah.
Everyone loved him. And then he's like, Lenny, you've got a job at Rings of Power. And he went, yeah. Being black was just, I just couldn't get a chance, couldn't get anywhere. Like, what?
Well,
what?
This is the thing, right? He's tried to rebrand himself as this like deep, serious social thinker, right? Who's hyper progressive and like really aware of like all the systematic oppression and stuff. But if you look back at some of his old comedy routines, like, man, he played to all the stereotypes.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I've seen that one,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he's none too pleased that shit's out there. But it's like, you were more than happy to exploit all of that stuff back in the day, son, and now you're going to pretend like it's all offensive.
Yeah.
Like,
that goes for all the comedians that have like heel turned on this shit. That they're all like, "Hey, whoa, don't bring up my old stuff, you fuck."
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll never do that, chat. I'll die a bastard.
You literally said like half an hour ago you were looking to sell out as soon as possible.
Oh wait, well, you know, if the opportunity comes to make some money, I'll play Rings of Power. You want me to be, what is it, an elf or something? I got the hair.
See, but that's the thing. We all support you being in Rings of Power.
I wouldn't want you to dress up or like play a character. I just want you to be there as Gundam.
Yeah.
What, I have to be an elf that's actually me?
Drunk and high.
The lore?
Wouldn't that break the law?
Well,
more so than before.
How long have you got, Gundam, to talk about breaking the law?
Well, the skin tone I got is already lore breaking as an elf.
I want to actually like look, just when you mentioned Rings of Power there, I want to see what the trailer is currently sitting at.
Oh,
so
heavy.
Ryan Kinnell predicted that it would get to 500,000 dislikes, and goddamn if that boy wasn't right on the money. So it's 13 million views it's had 94,000 upvotes and 516,000 downvotes.
The people love it.
Yeah. It's unified the fan base.
Read that first comment. Read that first comment, Drinker.
Hold on. I have to bring it back up again. Hold on a second. Talk amongst yourselves for a couple of seconds while I do
it.
So when you
talking about Palestine Gundam.
Well, you know, personally, it's got fuck all to do with me. That's my first stance. I'm more worried about my own country, if I'm going to be real with you. We had some migrants eating swans over here, and I was the first one screaming, "We got to deport them." And you'd be surprised the flack I got for saying something so absolutely based in reality. What type of person kills swans and cooks them up and then keeps the little babies in a cage? They're probably going to eat them too.
Clearly, you've never met a British aristocrat. We have swan burgers all the time over here.
Bloody hell!
To give you a flavor of like the comments section for this video, is glorious. I'll read you out the first 3 or 4. Galadriel, no man could fool me. Sauron puts on a wig. I am no man. But they were all of them deceived, for another wig was made. Then Galadriel, that hairline was broken. Sauron, it has been remade. Gandalf, you shall not pass. Balrog puts on a wig. Oh, my apologies, you can pass. It's going to be hard to fool the elves twice, isn't it? Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
I think the top one was the thing that most surprised about this trailer is the fact that the comment section's not turned off.
That used to be the top one. I think it's been dethroned, sadly.
No!
Yeah. I think my favorite one is, but they were all of them deceived, for another wig was made. Brilliant.
So, in light of the Rings of Power, how does everybody feel about The Hobbit now?
It's going up, and it's become the prequel trilogy of Lord of the Rings, really, hasn't it?
Oh, take it a million times over before Rings of Power. I think everyone agrees with that.
Yeah, of course.
But it's
funny how time changes things.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're on a downward spiral into madness and shit and horrible, disgusting entertainment.
Yeah, I'm American.
Everything that was slightly one level above you just looks better.
I was just picturing like spiral of madness. Everything's crazy, but there's also just a shit floating around with you in the vortex. You're just like, yeah, me.
You say that, and I think of like New York City. Yeah, spiral of madness. I'm like, yeah, I watched a rat eat a pigeon alive. Everything's going crazy. There was this gay dude dancing on the subway with a thong on, and he had angel wings to like Lady Gaga's Born This Way. And you guys are just talking about the Rings of Power, and I'm like, reality in America is quite interesting in a blue state.
I thought you
Because
were
it sounds like a
talking about
crazy
Japan.
night out in Glasgow, but then it's just like reality for you guys every single day.
Criminals commit crimes. They get out the same day, kill somebody else. Welcome to New York.
Oh,
It's a bit like GTA, though, isn't it? Like, you know, when
It
you get
is,
arrested or whatever,
actually,
like
when you-
you get out immediately. It's like,
Okay, Draker. You see this link I put up? The first one in the private chat. This is literally
yeah.
a GTA moment. You got to show the chat.
okay.
This is courtesy of Sirgon of Akkad. So do not blame me.
Sirgon.
Okay.
Or Sargon. I don't know.
All right.
It's part of my charm to get things wrong.
Hold on. I'll need to share screen.
People got to see this.
Here you go, then. Share
I will
screen
explain it
and-
to you. People are filming. The newscasters are filming about, like, I guess, a shooting in this neighborhood. While filming and interviewing this woman about the shooting, carjackers avoid crashing into some other person because they're driving up a one-way street. Typical carjackers. And then insanity ensues.
All right, let's play it.
Oh,
Hi.
here we go.
Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it full screen? All right, let's play.
Oh, it's
Oh,
me.
where's the sound?
No sound. No sound.
Okay, and we've got
Oh my
Urban
god,
youth.
that is literally like if I didn't know better. This I thought, is this a scene from The Office?
no,
Yeah.
it's GTA. He's like, oh Lord.
Yeah, no one will be able to recognize me.
Man, how do you rub with
in
your?
feudal Japan?
I'm in feudal Japan. Get him out of here. Draker's gonna have to edit the shit out of this.
Yeah. Oh, stabilize that camera, man. Jesus.
You could tell I'm British because I thought Gundam said the passenger side. That's clearly the driver's. Oh, it's American. Okay.
You gotta love how they're pulling him up by his legs after that crash. Like, I don't think this is medically sound. But you know what? He's a car thief, so fuck him. You get what you fucking deserve.
It does remind me of this, like, it was an old BBC News broadcast about, like, this stretch of highway that was meant to be, like, the biggest death trap in the UK roads. Like, it was really prone to accidents and stuff. And they had some local politician getting an interview there saying, like, no, the statistics are kind of wrong on this one. It's actually pretty safe here. And then a fucking car crashes right behind them.
Yes.
Can we get a video for us Americans?
I can try and find it. I can try and find it.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty fucking good.
What
I think the guy's reaction as well, like he just kind of looks towards the camera like
Didn't he say so? Oh, yeah.
It's another one of those days.
Another day at the office.
Hold on, there was a few questions that came in actually. So while Az is looking there was a few super chats. I'm just going to see if I can bring them up here. Where was this?
It's an owner. What was it on? It was on like what was it called? It'll Be All Right on the Night. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, so I think if you look for like BBC News or news article like highway crash interview or something. But yeah, anyway, while Az is doing that, I'm going to bring up a couple of.
Oh, I tell you what, this is my personal favorite from moments that happen on live TV.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
Democracies respond to those scandals.
And what will it mean for
It gets better.
Shifting sands in the region? Do you think relations with the North may change?
That is absolutely a scene from a movie. You know?
For the region.
It's just the way the baby comes like gliding in.
It's the way he closes it. He's just there and he's like trying to ignore it. He just goes, because you just know he's so fucked off and he just closes his eyes.
Because they must have had this conversation beforehand. It's right, I'm going to be doing this interview with BBC News. It's like the most important moment in my career. Just You don't have anything else to worry about. Just keep the kids out of the way for like 2 minutes. You had one job.
You had one job. I like the way that it was an Asian nanny as well.
Yeah.
Ah, bless.
Yeah, here's a question from Travis here. He says, with MauLer now watching Star Trek, can we get the two of you to do watch-throughs of the greats together, like City of the Edge of Forever, or at least a weekly recap of his favorites? I quite enjoy the Star Trek appreciation from MauLer, so I think they're asking, like, could we watch some of the best like episodes of the original series, that sort of thing.
I think I found it.
Oh, let's have a look. Hold that thought.
This
Yeah, this is it.
barrier stretches 4.5 miles south from Peterlee. It should make this section of the notorious A19 a safer road. Indeed, the Department of Transport insists the dual carriageway isn't outstandingly bad as far as road safety is concerned.
I will not accept that it's a highly dangerous road. The road, obviously, like other roads, gives cause for concern when accidents do occur.
But Mr. Davidson had barely finished speaking when this happened.
So sort of finished. We'll go ahead.
No one was hurt in the crash. It's just another example of how hazardous the A19 can be.
I love how it wasn't just one, it was like a whole pile up.
That is pretty good, but I've just linked, if you could get it up, that's my all-time favorite, like, news fuck-up. You would have seen it before. It's a fucking classic.
I've seen this
I
before.
can't resist not having it
I'm going to
played.
bet it's the black guy who chokes on a bug.
It's
All
you
right,
know it's the best one.
All right, there we go.
What really happened on that Thursday here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death? The fuck is that? I'm dying this fucking shit flying in my mouth. Oh, fuck, I can't see pollen. Get the fuck out this country, motherfucker. I can't see.
Look, dude, the contrast is so amazing.
That's the second my live stream ends.
To go from what happened on that Thursday to the fuck is that?
Shit flying in my eye.
This country ass douche.
Oh dear God! We used that at the beginning of an FNT once with QBG as the reporter.
Who was the fly?
Oh, just a fly, just a fly.
We actually got the same actor from the original.
Yeah. Backed by popular demand.
I want to see where that guy's career has gone since then.
Oh! You'd be a great actor.
Yeah. Just while we wait for Chris to join us, by the way, I'm going to do a few super chats while we wait. The first one here is from TGV Monster, who says, would you ever like to see Ryan Drake cross over into other genres? Would you like to see Drake fight the Mummy or Dracula? I want to see him fight zombies. I think that would be great.
Ooh.
I want to see a special forces team take on zombies. Or the Predator. Oh, wait, that's been done already.
You know, a Resident Evil movie with like the squad that had Hunk in it could be interesting if done correctly.
Oh,
yeah.
Imagine that.
The final survivor. The
That's
fourth
a good
survivor.
idea.
Gundam, I'm
Hire
still
me,
waiting
Hollywood.
for a Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, aren't we all, mate?
It's been almost 30 years. I've never had one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Land Far Away says Stuckman's old interview about growing up as a Jehovah's Witness was shockingly emotional, but not so much him coming out as pansexual. Just call yourself bi, man. Well, I mean, like, he's entitled to be whatever the hell he wants to be, but I guess being a Jehovah's Witness was a tough thing for him, because he had to leave all that stuff behind, didn't he? And he got like shunned or whatever. I don't know what you call it when you're a Jehovah's Witness.
I think like the Amish shun you. I don't know about the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, I don't know. They probably disapprove of you mildly. Jordan Ward says, for the panel, rank these 3 actors in terms of their impact on the movie business. De Niro, Tom Hanks, and Denzel Washington.
Yes.
So rank them for their effect on the movie business.
Their impact. So take it the entirety of their careers, not just like their glory days.
Do they mean like how much they changed the movie industry?
Because they've all had a
I don't
huge
know. I don't know if
impact.
it's. I don't even necessarily know if it's about changing it. It's just in terms of the films that they've been in, how much of a cultural footprint these guys have made, their recognition, I suppose.
It'd be De Niro top. If you were going to play that game, I would say.
It's just such a shame that he's become such a fucking
Oh,
clown.
I know. I know.
That's why you got to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah,
exactly.
Same with Tom Hanks. Actually, he's he's kind of gone down the same. Lost a lot of his credibility.
Yeah, like nobody likes him really anymore, from what I gather.
I'm gonna fuck it. I'm gonna put Denzel Washington top. Why not? He's a fucking king. So yeah, I'll put him up there.
He's my favorite out of the 3. He's my favorite. I just think as an impact, I just think De Niro's had a bigger impact than the other 2.
I am inclined to agree. I'd probably go with that as well. I'm not 100% clear on the question.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta stand Head Tie Woody, the best toy ever manufactured.
He also asked us to rank, and this is perhaps not in terms of their movie impact and more just about how fucking hot they are. Penelope Cruz, Selma Hayek, and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
In their prime?
These chicks.
I'd go Selma, Penelope Cruz, and Catherine Zeta-Jones last.
I'm going to agree with you, actually. Yeah, Selma Hayek's still hot.
Yeah.
That's why I said in their prime or not.
Because
Selma Hayek wins, I think, both eras. Whatever era. I think I might put Catherine Zeta-Jones above Penelope Cruz myself, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's your Welsh bias kicking in,
If
isn't it,
we're talking
MauLer?
about-
Just admit it.
Yeah.
If we're talking,
Yeah, how many times have you
prime-
jerked off to the darling buds of May, MauLer? Tell us.
Oh man,
Is the darling
those were good
buds of
times. They
May.
were good times. Come on.
That was her big break. That was her
Big
TV
time.
show in the UK that like made her a star, or at
She
least
was
got her noticed.
stunning. She was absolutely gorgeous in that show.
I'm
She
gonna have
was,
to go
she was
Selma Hayek because I'm 100% sure she gives foot jobs.
If you're Quentin Tarantino, she probably does.
Yeah.
See? I can just sense it like a cat. Meow.
M8566 says, hey, MauLer, for your information, the events of the Undiscovered Country and the Khitomer Accords eventually lead to the Federation Klingon Alliance, which played a pivotal role in the Dominion War in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, ensuring the sovereignty and freedom of the Alpha Quadrant.
Neat.
So there you go. Consider yourself educated, I guess.
I don't remember if I contradicted any of that. I don't know how I would. I don't know anything about that, but yes.
I did see Chris Gore appear backstage for a few seconds, and then he seems to have vanished. So I'm going to check to make sure he's alive.
He's flickering.
Okay. Not had a message from. So, Chris, if you're there, send us a sign. Get the fucking Ouija board out. We'll try and contact him that way. Anyway, while we're waiting for him to show up, Taker610 says, Drinker, how could you let MauLer get first billing in the intro song not once but twice? MauLer and the Drinker. Get that singer and wring his neck. I mean, I'm just, you go by the... Yeah, it's like the number of like syllables and stuff. I guess it just works with the songs. So,
we've
we're
got the same syllable.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Fuck it. Yeah, I should be first. Yeah, I am mad, man. I am angry about that now. Anyway, before we start ranting at each other, we've got Chris Gore here who's going to join us and tell us what he thinks about Furiosa. Welcome, Chris. And my God, you're Robert Meyer Burnett in all but name these days.
I am.
I love the beard.
A transporter malfunction, and here we are. So hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Howdy.
It's good to see you back, and good to see you well, sir.
Yeah, thanks, man. Doing good. Doing good. So, yes, I have seen Furiosa a Mad Max saga, which is a terrible name for a movie that doesn't have Mad Max in it. I just want to point that out right away. But yeah, I've seen it. There's the good and the bad. I will say this, it's not overly woke in the sense that like the last film was. I did like Fury Road better, but just because this movie doesn't have woke elements doesn't mean it doesn't have flaws right off the bat. So the noticeable things that will annoy all of us here. The first 40 minutes is Furiosa as a 10-year-old. Straight up.
That's
It's
a long
like,
preamble.
Yeah, like, okay, maybe the first 10 minutes, 40 minutes of young, and she's good. The young actress is very good, but did we need that much of a preamble? No. I will say some fantastic action sequences. One in particular in the very middle of the film, and it is never topped at the end. So you get this fantastic, amazing action scene, and then nothing comes close by the end of the movie. And then the third act is dragged out with that typical, it's something new in Hollywood, a second, third act.
You talked about this before,
Yeah. My friend Jim Agnew, who's a screenwriter, says every meeting he goes to, they're like, but what's the second, third act? You don't need it. You don't need it. It's too long by about 20 minutes at least. But I will say, I don't think, and this will be maybe a point of controversy, I don't think Furiosa is a girl boss in the way that it's been defined by the Marvel movies and other stuff. He gets the shit kicked out of her the whole movie. In the same sense that, like, in the first Raiders movie, Indiana Jones he gets his ass, he doesn't win. You know, he just survives. And she really gets her ass kicked the whole film. And oddly enough, he has a male mentor, another driver, and they get romantically entangled. But then they do this. It's a weird thing. I don't know how to do this. You know, in movies, when there's romantic interest and you see a male lead and a female lead, and there's a moment and they kiss, and you're like, oh, it's great. They like each other. And they care about each other. It's right at the moment you're like, oh, this is the kiss. But they do this horrible thing they do in modern movies where they go like, let's press our foreheads together. And the forehead together, that's like, instead of a kiss, it's so, I groaned when I saw it. It was so bad. You're like, oh my God. And the way she loses her arm will be, people will be discussing it, I believe. So, it's not what you think.
Did she give a really quick hand job and it fell off?
Well, I mean, she could have after, but
it friction burned and just started to ignite.
Kind of.
Does she have to like chop it off because it's stuck in a piece of machinery or something?
Are you a writer, Will? That's a crazy good idea that might have been used in the movie. I can't believe you figured it out.
Was she in a car crash and a pane of glass got stuck in her leg?
No, which
made her lose her arm.
It's been done. But, you know, overall, I really enjoyed it. Not as much as Fury Road, but it's not without its flaws. But the thing is, I did like she got her ass kicked so much in the movie. You feel for her. You know, you feel for her a lot, and that really saved it for me. So
that automatically puts it above 90% of what Hollywood produces nowadays, where they actually put a female character through some trials and you feel bad for her as a result. Like, wow, like that's the sort of thing that Disney and Marvel and stuff would never do. So that by itself is something.
It's shocking. And this male mentor, not even in the trailer, not even discussed. It's a huge part of the movie that she has this guy that's like, I'll teach you things. You know, the wasteland is brutal. But at the end, this is going to be a weird way of putting it. How do I put this? It's like the movie does very well world building. You know, the bullet farm, gas town, you know, the characters we saw in Fury Road, how they get to the place that they are when Fury Road begins. So, but it feels like a season pass for a video game. As weird, it's like, here's the new levels, and the fact that they're still calling it a Mad Max saga, I hate that. I freaking hate it. And there might be a cameo by Max in the film. So overall, I enjoyed it, but lower your expectations. Oh, the one thing I really like too, he has, someone counted, he only has 30 lines in the whole movie.
Wow.
Furiosa.
Yeah, Furiosa. 30 whole lines. So she's very soft spoken, just like Max. I mean,
that's a hallmark for George Miller, though, isn't it? Because, like,
yeah,
you know, Fury Road was exactly the same. It was quite sparing with the dialogue.
Yeah, he and Denis Villeneuve focused on the visuals. But I'll say this: the spectacle is amazing. I mean, there is more CG in this, you know, than the last one, or at least noticeable CG. But I gotta say, like, some of the scenes, it felt like a silent film. Parts of the movie, there's so little dialogue, and I mean a silent film, like an old, like 1920s biblical epic. So I enjoyed it, and the flaws aren't because it's got some agenda or message or wokeness. The flaws in the movie are just bad movie. I mean, like, I hope we get to a place where you can just say this movie isn't woke, but it's also not good. And I missed those days.
What did you think of Anya Taylor-Joy?
She's very good.
Action role, because I've never seen her really do action before.
Right. She's very good, and she isn't, I mean, she's not strong. You see her. Physically, she's wiry. I mean, any one of us could turn her into a pretzel. I mean, but she has different strengths. So she uses what she has, but she's clearly outmatched physically by many of the characters she goes up against. So make of that what you will. But a lot of people are going to say, they're going to be turned off, and they rightfully so, because girl boss stuff is so tired. It's so Captain Marvel, probably the worst, or the Marvels. That movie was god awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is not as insufferable. I don't know if that's a positive, but
Chris, I'll be honest.
You're not selling me with that line.
I know.
You have not sold this film at all to me.
No, I'm not trying to sell it. That's not my job.
But you said I enjoyed it, and then you just literally almost contradicted yourself with everything. I don't understand what you actually liked.
Well, there's a great action sequence in the middle of the movie. There's
where they take her and kick her off a building. He loved that.
Exactly.
The first act dragged with the girl, and then the third act dragged.
It's not terrible. It's just like the actress who plays her when she's like 10 years old is very good, and it's really good. But you're like, it's not what this movie is. I wasn't sold that, you know.
I think Ass has made a point. Like, you're just telling us the film is bad, but it's not woke. That's the selling point.
Yeah.
Well, no, but like, I mean, some of the action scenes are just jaw dropping, just really good.
Hey, Fallout had some good scenes, but overall, it wasn't that great. And people were mad when I said it.
Fallout, I finally saw Fallout. That might be the worst season finale ever. That last episode of Fallout, I hated it.
The rest of the season wasn't so great either, but I mean,
I'm with MauLer.
I mean, yeah, I actually went to an event where Christopher Nolan interviewed Jonathan, his brother, talking about Fallout, and they say, well, it's an ensemble cast that each represents different types of gamers. Lucy is like the casual gamer. The Ghoul is the hardcore gamer. And then what's his name? Maximus is sort of like
he's the retarded gamer.
Right. Exactly. Was it
he's the guy with Downs.
It's videos on my channel, but no, it's not as good as Fury Road, but I'll take bad Georgia Miller over good Nia DaCosta. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we got this summer?
I mean, yeah. Do you, in terms of its box office prospects, like, what do you imagine this movie's going to do? Because we're still waiting for like that big box office hit to kick off the summer movie season, and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it might be Garfield because that movie is.
Shoot me.
It looks so. I mean, I've talked to people seen it. It's terrible, but it's not super heavy. It's like one of those Minions movies. You know, you're like, why did Minions did so well? Because people go see that. But I do think that the brand of going to the theater and seeing a big movie is tarnished. Look at Fall Guy.
We just talked about that earlier. Yeah.
19 days after it opened in theaters, you can get it on VOD and the extended cut, 20 minutes longer.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh boy.
It's a good, it's a fun film. The Fall Guy was a really fun film.
I had no real complaints with it. It's not particularly sophisticated and the plot's got a few holes in it, but like it's fun enough and pretty inoffensive, and the cast are likable. The action scenes are okay. It just seemed like
30 million, man.
Yeah. You could have done it for half that for what you actually get in it.
Yeah, I mean, I did like it. Was entertaining as hell, but I don't know why it didn't click.
It's a rom-com. It's a rom-com. You can't have $130 million rom-com, which has got to make $390 million to make its money back. It's not how rom-coms work. Rom-coms are cheap movies, so the guy can take his missus to the cinema to get his fucking dick sucked later because he did something nice for her. That's the whole purpose of a rom-com.
Well, that was back in the early 2000s.
It's to con the woman. It's to con the woman into thinking the man's doing something nice so he can get something out of it.
This is how I know Ass is out of touch with the current generation. TikTok women have taught me that you literally have to do the bare minimum and take them to an expensive Italian restaurant just for you to get a good review on her social media. Hey guys, I just went out with this hot dude and we went out to this wonderful Italian restaurant. You're not going to get any from a girl. We're going to see Ryan Reynolds, or wait, no, other white guy. Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Guy
and Gosling.
In another film, Please Blow Me. Ass says it works.
Well, look, I think at the end, this is going to get mixed reviews. You're going to see it, and you can't deny this action sequence was great, but then why this and why that? So it's a mixed bag, which is most movies these days.
So the action sequences are going to get millions of views on YouTube. Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, cut a good trailer from it. And I did like those parts, but then the ending. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the ending, but just prepare to be underwhelmed.
I mean, I was going to say in terms of the box office as well, right? Fury Road costs 180 million to make, and the box office was 380. So not necessarily a big profit from that one, and that's with still the Mad Max name attached to it, and the character still being in it. With this one, we've essentially got a spin-off. That's what this is, a spin-off prequel. And it does make me wonder, like, is there any brand recognition going to be associated with this, or are people just going to go? The hardcore action fans, I guess, are going to go to see things explode, which is nice. But I don't
that's why I make the comparison of a season pass to a video game. It's already a video game you like. Here's a new episode of that game with more world building and different characters. So that's what it felt like to me. I mean, a weird thing, but you guys all play games, right?
I would say that was DLC back when we used to get those sort of things.
Yeah. The DLC era.
I have had zilch interest in this film. I don't give a toss about this character, let alone the origin of them. I don't care. I saw Fury Road. I thought I enjoyed it. I've never seen it again since, or been compelled to ever watch it again since. I am sick and tired of prequels. I'm sick and tired of a Star Wars story, a Mad Max saga. Make something fucking new. But everything's got to have a brand recognition or a fucking multiverse attached to it or something. Even a Fall Guy. For as much as I like the Fall Guy, your audience is young 20-something women, really. How they're gonna know nothing about Lee Majors and the Fall Guy from the 80s. They're not gonna have a fucking clue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm old. I don't remember the Fall Guy from the 80s. So
I'm old, and I do because I loved it. It's one of my favorite shows.
Well, there you go.
But there you go. Yeah.
What was Chris Hemsworth like in it, by the way?
Oh, he's great. He's really chewing the scenery. He's a good villain. I thought he was quite good. That weird nose, like he's having fun. So he is very good in it. So, and the world building is actually pretty cool. Like, what is the world after cataclysm? Here's how the economy functions. It's interesting. So, I can't wait to talk to or watch your videos when you review it, which I assume you will.
No,
I'll get right to it. Yeah.
As you're not going to go as? Come on.
No. Right. For FNT, on FNT, sometimes we get compulsory homework. You have to watch this. We're going to discuss this.
Oh, I know.
We got, you don't have to if you don't want to homework this week. That's what we got. We got, if you want to watch it.
The Lord Humongous. Just
just
walk away. Leave the gas.
Yeah.
Walk away. I love it.
I did like Lord Humongous. He was always good. But yeah, Lance says no Mel Gibson, no Mad Max movie. Mel Gibson did have some big shoes to fill.
Mel's old now.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this earlier.
Old Man Max.
Old Man Max, yeah.
I think that could work.
No brainer.
Yeah,
So
I mean, he's still, because he's old, but he's still kind of spry. I think he still kept himself pretty fit. He could do one more action movie. He could do one more Mad Max movie.
He'd be better than
Wasn't he like the villain in one of the Expendables movies?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and in Boss Level as well, he was quite good in that.
Yeah, Boss Level. That was it. Yeah, I enjoyed Boss Level. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Frank Grillo is like insanely jacked for like a guy who's pushing 60. I don't know how he does it, but
It's called
he's
steroid.
really good. Wow. Yeah.
Even with steroids, as
yes, I know. It still requires a whole lot of work, but he's an MMA fighter, wasn't he? Didn't he used to do MMA?
He was like an amateur boxer or something. Yeah.
Isn't he? He's set to play Peacemaker's dad in season 2. Sorry, not Peacemaker. The what's his name? Flag's dad in season 2 of Peacemaker. Which I don't understand how the fuck that makes any sense. Like, if you're gonna have Rick Flag's death be canon in season 2 of Peacemaker, then that means
don't.
You all know what it means.
Yeah, so very curious for your thoughts, but this is going to be a bleak year in the industry.
Yes,
it's very bleak. So and also, I don't know if you've been keeping up. IATSE is probably going to strike. The workers who, the below the line workers,
the Teamsters, basically.
Yeah, the team, because I've talked to a couple of them. They stood by the writers during the writers' strike. So their whole thing is, hey, it's our turn.
Yes.
Now we get a raise. And if that happens, they're fucked. I mean, they are right fucked. So,
I mean, is this just going to be a regular thing? Like every year, there'll just be another part of the industry that goes on strike. So they'll never be able to make movies anymore. There's always going to be some part of the machinery that breaks down.
Craft services.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not to mention AI. That's like a time bomb out there right now that will affect things. We did a panel discussion on Monday on our panel show on Film Threat where we talked about like how it's going to change everything. Special effects, below the line jobs. Like it'll help indie filmmakers who don't have to live by Hollywood's rules. So that is going in 5 years, different industry altogether. very
Yeah.
different industry. So that's something else.
Yeah, well, look, imagine if you want to create yourself a fantasy show, and you need to render like all kinds of like fantastical cities and castles and all that sort of thing. It would cost you millions of dollars in today's technology, like to get a special effects house to make all that up for you. If you got AI, they can do it for you in seconds. Like that's going to be the difference maker, I suppose.
I'm sure
Like-
you've seen those demos on, those like mini trailers, the 1950s. I mean, it's kind of cool, like, but you're like, it's not great, but this is what it is now. How is it going to be in a year? 2 years?
Yeah.
I mean, my God, it's going to really like change everything. So, man, and also, I also believe that streaming has numbed people's sensibilities and lowered people's expectations for content. That half-assed stuff will be hailed as brilliant.
I've
it's
always
a
said that
pig
content
trough.
killed art.
Streaming is a pig trough. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just a pig trough.
The whole model doesn't work as well. Like particularly the Disney Plus model, where you're spending 150, 200 million dollars on each of these like crazy Marvel TV shows. They bring in fuck all extra viewers. So what's the point in doing them? You could make a movie for that and rake in a few hundred million. At least you might at least stand a chance of turning a profit. With a streaming service, you're never going to do it.
I don't know if that's the case with the way things have been going with Disney, honest to God.
Well, no, but like theoretically it would be.
Theoretically, if like people weren't absolute garbage at writing stuff at Disney, yeah.
Speaking of AI, have you seen the trailer for that Jennifer Lopez Atlas movie?
Oh yeah,
what hot garbage! Oh, it premieres tomorrow.
What?
Tomorrow, it's out.
I'm watching it.
Same here.
You won't watch Furiosa, but this
no
shit.
fucking way.
Atlas.
Dude, this
You'll
is
be talking about that on
dumpster fire
FNT.
This is a dumpster fire that's fucking on fire in a sewerage pit. This looks like the worst fucking thing imaginable.
I know, because she copyright struck me.
Need for this job. Only I can bring this person in. What am I doing? How do I word this? It's just like the lack of self-awareness is mind-blowingly amazing.
This is why Ben Affleck's leaving her.
So the rumor
Again.
goes. Again, yeah.
Yeah, well, and alcoholism, but that's a whole other story with Ben.
Is he back? Is he falling off the wagon again?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can relate. Good on you, Ben.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I mean, I can't say you've exactly sold us on Furiosa, but I do appreciate your take on it, Chris.
Well,
so
those are my honest thoughts. I'm just being honest. You're probably gonna have a lot more insights. I mean, just and you can't deny there are some parts where I'm like, oh, that's freaking awesome, right out of like a couple of sequences that are great, but 2.5. I'm tired of this running time. Movies use this tight 2 hours. Tight 2 hours. That's a movie. An epic is 3 hours. It's not big enough to be an epic.
That's
like
the
I
difference
said,
between digital and film.
Yeah,
right
it's a season pass or a DLC for a game that we're well familiar with.
This should be a 90-minute movie. It shouldn't even be 2 hours. This is a 90-minute movie. That's it.
Or do you remember like a movie would come out and Marvel would have like the comic version of it, but they would also do like a prequel comic to fill in all the boring parts that happened between the last movie and the new movie? That's what every Disney Plus Marvel show is. It's like a prequel comic that you don't need to know about, but I guess that stuff happened. And that's kind of what this feels like. So
yeah. The problem with the Marvel TV shows now is they've tied the movies into them, so you actually have to watch the TV shows to understand the movies.
There's so much
absurd.
garbage.
Like, yeah, if you hadn't seen, what would it be, like Ms. Marvel and WandaVision, you're not going to understand the Marvels. I mean, that was just one of many problems with that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, their original like philosophy was so much smarter, where they said like the TV shows are separate from the movies. they might reference them, but the movies are never going to reference the TV shows. So you don't have to have watched one to see the other to appreciate it. That was a smarter way of doing it. But smart isn't really in their vocabulary now. So, well.
Diversity is, you bigot.
Well, that's true, yeah. Diversity is a good substitute for intelligence, I guess.
Diversity is our strength.
Diversity is your downfall.
Should we do a few more super chats before we wrap it up this evening, gentlemen?
Sure.
For you. All right, let's see what we got here. RRTNZ, it says, Hail Drinker, question from MauLer. Man, I'm going to have to put this through Google Translate. Hold on.
Is it Welsh?
Yeah, it is Welsh. Yeah, it just looks like a bunch of random letters dumped.
Bunch of random consonants.
Yeah. Hold on. Nightmare. All right, Google Translate. It's going to be like, are you having a nice day or something?
Howdy.
Right. How is your favorite film? I assume that they're asking, what is your
How
favorite
are they?
film? Yeah.
I
It's
haven't
good.
checked on the Prestige in a while, but I think he's doing okay.
What a
Yes,
film. Wow.
18 years old. So
Wow.
he's getting
Wow.
on, yeah.
Oof.
But yeah, a little known fun fact. I watched it with Az, and it was a very fun experience sharing one of my favorites with him.
My first viewing of it. I watched
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
Did plenty of pausing and speculating on what all the story, where it was going. It was a good time.
That was fun. That was fun to do.
He also says, you didn't answer the last time when I asked. I am asking in Welsh to share our language. Thank you.
Oh, but you're like probably fluent in it. I'm not. I was brought up on the old English language, darn it. Though it's been beneficial to speak to these weirdos, you know. So it helps out. Unless maybe if you guys be willing to all learn Welsh, that could be a thing, yeah.
I've ended
Wow.
No, I
Wow.
actually spoke Welsh. Though.
Nobody can tell us.
I know that's the sad thing. I actually spoke Welsh.
Wait,
as
was
well.
Guy Martin Welsh?
Who come now?
You guys don't know who Guy Martin is?
Who's
The
that?
famous motorcycle racer?
Oh, the one that does the Isle of Man TT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can never
I
understand
did-
what the hell he's doing.
I got his Blu-ray.
Finally, some
Well,
more
okay.
culture around here.
We're not exactly motorcycle aficionados here on this channel right now. Sorry.
I
Sorry
figured
to
he was a big
disappoint.
deal over there.
They just died, and that's all they do over there.
Who, Welsh people?
No, in the Isle of Man TT, there's always like 2 or 3 people every year that fucking die.
That was
Really?
pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Damn. Blue Collar Loser here says, falling down hit me hard. My last job, I was making 100K a year and I never felt more broke. I also had a restraining order on me for my infant son, but it was later dropped. $15 for a fucking Big Mac? Damn. What is... Has there been some kind of controversy about like McDonald's putting their prices up or something in the States?
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah.
I'm not really across this one.
Yes. The minimum
Gavin
wage went up-
Newsom
yeah,
decided to juice minimum wage to like what, $20, $22?
$20. You know, I live in California. God, I hate that governor. I voted for the recall. I want him to go away. But
Don't
he's a-
worry. Minimum wage is still 16 for restaurant people because he has a restaurant.
That's
Oh.
right. He carved out exceptions for himself. It's
Welcome to
No.
America, boys.
fast food has actually dropped across the board. It's so expensive to the point where Walmart has seen a bump while fast food is overall across the board down. In fact, I
Right.
found a list of all the restaurants going out of business. I'll try to find it.
I mean, doesn't that undermine the purpose of fast food? It's meant to be cheap, quick, and convenient.
Not
Mhm.
anymore.
Then why the hell would
They
you eat
do
it?
a value meal at $25 for a
Yes.
value meal.
Yeah.
That's some value right there. Wow.
Yeah.
It's when he when he referenced falling down there, I just think of the whammy burger where it's
Yes.
like this thick.
Yeah, the food does look like the whammy burger here, actually.
I saw Falling Down for my birthday.
Which birthday?
Interesting.
Wow. That's the question, isn't it?
Okay.
When I was a kid. When I was a kid.
Okay.
When I was a kid.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Oh wow, a lot of them
Not
closing.
last birthday. I went to see it. No, when it came out the cinema, that's what I went to see as one of my birthday treats.
Oh wow. That must put you on a bit of a downer for that birthday then. So,
Holy shit! Buffalo Wild Wings is closing down all of its locations
in Canada. Look at this list. It's shocking. This is a.
Oh right, yeah. Hold on.
This when you look at this is
Fuddruckers. No.
Yeah.
Listen, I just discovered Buffalo Wild Wings. Holy hell!
IHOP is closing 100 locations across the country.
Arby's is closing. Applebee's, sorry, is closing 35. Red Lobster 50.
Yeah, they just went bankrupt.
Pizza Hut's planning to close 500.
Damn,
that is brutal.
And
I mean,
this
I will say Pizza Hut's pizzas are fucking garbage. So
yeah,
don't
terrible.
mind that at all.
But this will have a
feel like
ripple
all
effect across the whole economy. All of this is not a good sign.
They're all going to be closing as like steps further than having already gone down in quality, I'd imagine too, right?
True.
Like,
because you cut your costs first by just skimming on the ingredients and stuff, and then
I've seen plenty of videos talking about like comparing almost all things that we buy casually. Just compare them to 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and it's just shrinking and shriveling, all of it.
Get your shotguns and your fallout shelters ready, folks. This is it. The collapse. When you can't get fast food anymore, people are going to lose their minds.
Brought to you by Progressives. Here to help.
We haven't got fast food, but we got.
I'm curious. Well, I wonder if it's the same in red states. Like, are these places thriving there because they don't have minimum wage for fast food?
They're probably
workers?
fine in red states.
Yeah. He also says, walking into Furiosa now, Miller had this plan during Fury Road. There's a lot of calling the movie woke, and wasn't she beloved in Fury? I mean, I think people like the character.
I mean, I think people like to, yeah, but I wouldn't say like, I don't remember people like being like, yes, Furiosa, she needs a movie.
Dude, I only remember people screaming, "Witness me."
Yeah.
Witness.
Oh, shiny and chrome.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gotta2319 says, greetings, drinker and panel. May you all ride eternal, shiny and chrome. Apparently, there's already a Mad Max 5 in production with Tom Hardy's Max making a return. I hope Miller doesn't take 10 years to make this one because the man's almost 80. Damn.
Yeah.
Younger than Ridley Scott.
Yeah, and I know who I'd rather see a movie from.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Corey Crandall says, MauLer, I'm glad that you started watching Star Trek, the original series. I'm sure Drinker will make sure you watch TNG next. However, I encourage both of you to watch Deep Space Nine, the last great Trek show.
That's my my journey. It's going to be TOS, TNG, DS9.
Nice.
It's going to take me fucking ages.
You've got it planned out.
It's just heartbreaking about Voyager because it was such a good concept and they just fucked it up immediately.
They had a little 3-episode arc that like kind of realized the dark gritty tone that they wanted to do with it, and it was fucking brilliant. It was called Hell. That was good stuff, but we never got the rest of it.
No.
And then Ronald Moore like went off and did Battlestar Galactica instead. Like that was his concept. So
yeah, that was incredible. I loved it. I love that.
I didn't like the weird like spiritual religious thing that they tried to do with it, where people turn into angels and stuff and then just vanish.
I personally found it really interesting that you would actually legitimately create a show where God existed. It was a definite. It wasn't a maybe. The God existed, and it was God. It was theology versus science. I thought that was a wonderful.
It's a nice premise. I guess my issue is like I never understood the mechanics of how any of it worked, because I feel like the show didn't really understand either. It just kind of made things up as it went along, which is a shame. But yeah, the acting, the performances, and everything were great. But oh well. Marky Mark says, Drinker, if you got Sydney Sweeney to fall for you, but she gave you an ultimatum between her and alcohol, what would you choose? Oh, you bastard.
That's what you're saying to her, right?
Can't shag alcohol, but I can't drink Sydney Sweeney. So,
well,
I mean,
right. I've got my bottle here. All right. Okay, this is gonna be painful. I might need to go off camera for a bit. All right. Oh, son of a bitch. Anyway, I don't know. I might be tempted to give it up for Sydney, but we'll see. I'll have to take her for a test run first. What can I say? Shake from the Hunger team has joined Fellowship of the Drink, so welcome on board. Thank you. Cedric King says, "Hail Drinker, been a long time fan, and now I really love the open bar. This is my first donation, and today is my birthday. Hope the whole panel has a fantastic Thursday. Say hi to MauLer for me, and hail to the chat." Thank you, man, and happy birthday to you. Next one, come on. Marky Mark says, "This one's for Az. I doubt you'd remember this, but I once got a cameo from you. However, I was hammered and forgot to put a request in for it. You still gave me a great cameo, so thank you." Was it just a blank one?
Marky, I don't know. I've done quite a few cameos. You'll have to forgive me, but hey, if I did it, I did it. I've done all my cameos. I've got my streak. My streak's at 80. Whatever it is, cameos that I've done.
Do you still do them, or have you?
I get them. Yeah, I get them every. I don't kind of push it. It's just like if I get one, I get one sort of type thing. But yeah,
for people watching this, if you're inclined, you can get a cameo greeting from Az.
You can. Cameo.com. Hill versus Babyface.
Nice. Shark Dentures says, "Late and stone cold sober." That is an absolute lie. We might have been late, but we were drunk. Simon Ho says, "Have you heard about the new Time Bandit series? Diverse, inclusive, and for the modern audience. Oh, and the dwarves need not apply. You micro-entitled, miserable little munchkins. Deal with it, tall phobes." Okay.
Lisa Kudrow's one of the leads, or if not the lead actress in the show.
Okay. I know nothing about it.
This is Taika Waititi's, isn't it? Taika Waititi's type. No, yeah. And didn't Terry Gilliam walk off set?
He might have done.
I think it's something like, I think he walked off set. He's just like, this is,
Hirukami says, "Have MauLer watched the 7th best Star Trek movie, Galaxy Quest?"
I've seen Galaxy Quest. That's like standard viewing. I fucking love that movie. What's funny too is
things.
It's funny because that movie primarily makes fun of Star Trek, and I'd seen it without seeing any Star Trek, and I thought it was brilliant. So
yeah,
that's the sign of a strong movie right there.
You've got a whole new perspective on it now.
Yeah.
Turbo Topology says, "Furiosa is fine, but it's no Burnout Revenge for the PS2. I mean, what is really?"
Yeah.
Grimnack says, "Hell yes, gents. Hope you're all good, and God bless." Cheers, bud. Warwick, what's this? Warwick Dwarfer says, "Mr. Long, Buffy play. What's that? Buffy play Cove September last week. Super chat not read.
What?
I do not know. I'm just reading it verbatim here.
Buffy has COVID.
Buffy play Cove September last week. Super chat not read. I don't know what you're asking us.
Sorry, I can't decipher
that. You got to be a little bit clearer. Like, use actual English so that we can read it out and understand what you're saying.
Every time this happens, I still can't read alien languages. When this happens on EFAB, every time Rags is like, "Please just redraft the super chat once, just one time."
We're not going to stiff you on reading it out, but we need to at least understand what you're asking us. Otherwise, we can't respond to it properly. Mr. M. Simon says, "Hello, first time super chat, long time viewer for all of you. Thank you for everything that you do, and have a drink on me." Thank you. We
Bless
will.
you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Cloud says, "Drinker, make happy hour great again. Missed those. Been watching all the old ones. Bring them back, please. Is it not economically viable anymore?" This is what happens when you're not economically viable. No, it's not so much that. I just haven't really had the time for it. It's not Tempest viable, I suppose. but I will get it done. I will do more happy hours. Don't worry. Albert Nada Retro says, just watched yesterday's Real BBC. Every time Gary MauLer and Az would say, these shows writers, I damn near pissed myself laughing. Right as if.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Guess saying they're not very good at writing. Metal Face Rosie says, Anya Taylor-Joy is objectively hotter than Charlize Theron. Weird hot always beats regular hot. It's science. There might be something in that, actually. I don't know. I was just thinking about...
This is true.
I was thinking about Margot Robbie, right? Absolutely beautiful woman. Very conventionally attractive. Don't necessarily find her hot, though.
Agreed.
It's an odd thing. I look at her and it's like, I recognize that you're beautiful, but I don't find you hot. Whereas I think, I don't know, someone like Sydney Sweeney, probably not as classically beautiful as Margot Robbie is, but I find her a lot hotter. I don't know what it is, but it's something weird going on. Not sure how to define it.
People have preferences. It's crazy.
Could be.
Huh?
Maybe subconsciously you're like, when they're not as hot, they try harder. You know. Just saying.
This is also
you
true.
know it's true. You know it's fucking true.
Very
Anyway.
true. I support this. I've tested the theories.
Yeah. Vimarain says, Hail Drinker, what other movies do you want to watch with MauLer after Star Trek? MauLer, you EFAP'd Mortal Kombat and the new one, but not Annihilation. Please EFAP that one too. It is much hilarious as the first, if not even more so.
Pretty sure we said in the video, once they roll out the second Mortal Kombat remake, we're going to do that and Annihilation together. So that'll be a fun double bill.
But as for things to watch with MauLer, we've discussed various options and we've got some stuff in the pipeline. So there will be more things that we watch together. And I'd put a few other suggestions to him. I'd love to do the Back to the Future trilogy with him. But,
you can't say that like that. People will be like, wait, he hasn't seen them. Like, no, I have. I'm cool. I've seen them.
But yeah, we've got something lined up where it's like MauLer has seen the thing and I haven't, and that will be flipping it a little bit. So that could be good fun as well. So stay tuned. Red's Dead says, first ever super chat and don't be gentle. Drinker, any chance we can get a Dankula on for Open Bar 100? I'd love to, because Dank always makes for a great guest, but I think he does like a D&D night at this exact time because he's apologized for this before, and it's like he can't make it basically because he's got prior engagements. But maybe if I get in touch and give him a month's notice and say it's Open Bar 100, man, do me a solid, maybe he'll come on. We'll see what we can do. Mega Spidey Man says, who or what do you guys think was to blame for Crystal Skull's lesser quality? I think it was more the writing than anything else. Discuss. Why was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull a bit shit?
Terrible CGI. Mutt was a terrible character for the most part.
I mean, personally, I would gun for the writing, of course, but then it's like next up, I don't know.
The direction wasn't great.
Indy's too old. I mean, it doesn't work with a character at that age. Indy doesn't work at that age.
I feel it was better than the last indie movie.
Yeah. I would rather watch Crystal Skull than Dial
any
of
day of the
Destiny.
week.
That's but that's not saying much.
I think Harrison Ford was still sprightly enough that he could get away with it. Like, probably if he dyed his hair a little bit to make it less grey, he probably would have been able to pass for a sort of middle-aged indie, which I think would have been fine, would have been okay. It was just the script was dog shit. It was so boring. It was so
and for the record, to connect Az with other Az, you made a pretty decent pitch for an old man indie movie that I would have watched the hell out of.
Yeah, I mean, but it was kind of trying to rely on Chris Pratt a lot.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's kind of the point. And that's what an old indie looks like, is that there'll be other people doing his sort of thing, but we'll get insight from him. We'll get experiences from him. Me and Drinko were talking about this with I think it was the final Star Trek, that it's so fucking annoying, the culture in storytelling in Hollywood, where they're like, once you're over like age 30, you won't be learning anything anymore. So there's no point in making movies about you. It's like, what the fuck? Like any character that's of a particular age, when the storytelling potential for older characters is huge.
Yeah, well, I think people get more interesting generally as they get older. They got more baggage. They perhaps got limitations that they're wrestling with. Like we saw that, for example, in Star Trek. Like Kirk and the other crew are getting older. Yeah. They're kind of relics of a different era, having to wrestle with a changing world. I think that all of that makes for interesting character development, and it provides a great baseline for doing lots of cool stuff.
Or you're like divorced and have a dead son from Vietnam or something pathetic and sad.
Yeah, it's always like, oh, I've given up on life because I'm fucking old now. Yeah. And like, you know, I've lost all faith in everything and I just want to go away and die. Like, is that what you imagine old people are like?
Yeah.
You know, it's so pathetic. Yeah, I hate what they did with basically everything.
Awful film.
I'll do one more here. Yeah, Hurricane Laura says, Hail Drinker and Panel. This one is for Az. I recently saw an old video of yours and I'm so impressed with how far you've come and how amazing you look now. You've worked hard and it shows. You rock. Keep kicking ass.
Oh, thank you. Still got a hefty way to go, but thank you. Really appreciate that. About 100 pounds down at the moment. So
that is amazing.
Good job.
100 pounds. Awesome. Jesus.
Yeah.
Must be feeling like $1 million now.
Even with 100 pounds, you can't afford the biggest version of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So,
truly, you are the problem.
Aren't they all digital as well? Isn't it not coming out physically?
Fucking no.
It has to come out physically on PlayStation.
Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to finish it up there tonight. It's been glorious as always having you guys on. As Gundam, Chris, thank you for coming on tonight, for doing this and giving up some of your time for it. Appreciate it. I thank you to everyone in chat for super chatting us, for keeping everything going and having a good old laugh with us for a couple of hours. And thank you to my mods for keeping everything ticking over. Appreciate all you guys. As we always do, we'll catch up on anything that we missed super chat wise on Sunday. But for now, today, for this week, that is all we've got for today. So go away now. Bye.
Show's over.